Hello and what is going on, you guys? Hyperion-Blue-GT is here. Let's get ready to start for today's live summon event at the end of Season 8 in the Crew 2, Velocità, also known as Speed in Italian. For the most part dedicated to Italian vehicles, especially for supercars and hypercars, will be featured for having 6 events with 3 skills for the exception by having 2 different disciplines. We'll be going in for having a lot of good Italian taste favorite out there until we're about to be ready to move on to be in Season 9 for the first live summon. We'll be coming up by having a next update on Motorflix. Will be featured Season 4 in Episode 1 will be known as the Contractor. Each type of service companies like taxi, limousine, and deliveries, which allows us to pick up passengers or goods in big cities and then deliver them to their destination. As I'm looking forward to the update, we'll be continuing on to have my full walkthrough for the journey when I last left off in stage number 3 in the US Speed Tour East. If you're new to my YouTube channel, go and click the subscribe button and leave a like and comment at the section down below, and check out the links on the description if you really want to see more. Feel free to enjoy it anytime you want for the entertainment. Now it's time to get ready to start the live summon event, and let's begin. After spending a lot of racing times at the Miami racetrack for the Albert Grand Prix discipline, goes on to take 3 laps around the circuit simultaneously to be reached up by 50,000 bucks is going to be quite giving a lot of currency credits to build up. So here are the 3 vehicles right now. First up, the Ferrari 812 Superfast 2017. 800 horsepower and a top speed of 211 miles per hour. Very good super fast Ferrari, makes a good number to be in the 812 to have a nice wonderful beauty model to be labeled as a 2017 model. Next up, the 2012 Pagani Huayra goes in to be in the South Trip to have a nice average mid-engine performance of 730 horsepower and a top speed of 223 miles per hour. Very good to have a nice Huayra to be listed in, and putting up with some exterior parts will be featured as well. And last but not least, for only a street race discipline for the Lamborghini Gallardo LP 574 Superleggera is now going in to take on in the Harlem East to have a good performance of 570 horsepower and a top speed of 201 miles per hour. 3 Italian vehicles are now listed in, and that makes 2 will be added to your collection. Will be going over to be on the participation. 2 hypercars will be coming up, and get ready to go in to be on the most finest speed Italian event to be in the live summit. So glad to be well chosen to be climbing up onto the platinum to be stopped at rank 9,810 place. And that means for the Ferrari F12 TDF is right on the list to be added to your collection by having a pink storm smoke to be on the Epic. All set and good to go, and we got some good events will be on the way. For the final reward in Season 8 for the weekly live summon in Velocità, Fame Pack for only 150,000 followers to be in the bronze, 52,500 to be in the spare part in silver, an 8-bar 124 Spider in the gold, and for the Italian fractured tire to be on the rare in the platinum category. So let's do this, folks. 6 Italian events and 3 skills with different disciplines will be on the way. First up, Brooklyn for the low altitude will be going in to take a good street position to have a nice low altitude position without taking any contact from traffic cars to be in the avenue streets. So let's do this and fly low by using the HR3. Very good. Gonna have to take a good nitro boost. Taking a little bit danger close. Almost there. 5 seconds. And going forward onto the park. Talk about having a quarter-mile run. 8,790 points. 1 in the bag. Successful and 100 points to be well achieved. Piece of cake. Flying low onto the quarter-mile straight by having a good solid lineup, and things will be going smoothly to have a first skill by the start. Next up, New York airport for the Solemn. We'll be on our way to have a good Solemn position, to be having a good selection, to have a good recommendation by the pick. Gonna have to go with a street race on the bike or a touring car discipline. By having a good choice, by having an Alpha Grand Prix, we'll be giving a good selection to have a nice creator vehicle. Is about to go on by having a UDRS Insportec livery is going to be much tractor-tastic. So I have finally got the Yacid design by creators. It's actually look pretty good. So let's see how the skills if I could probably have to do this. Putting up the score breaker at the go. Okay, slightly turn. Still new at this tractor vehicle, but it looks pretty fast. Come on, just gonna have to stay on it. Take that good point. Passes through and reaching up onto the finish line. Ah, great. Well, maybe almost good enough. 22,759 points. That was an A-OK try to have a nice tractor F1 car. But look on the bright side, result outcome to be well achieved, record set for 152,000 points to be on the new record. Next up, on to skill number 3, Seaside for the speed trap. Let's see how I could probably have to go over onto the drag race discipline with no Italian vehicle to be well related to. But I have to make sure things will have to go over by having a same place like the last summit event by a while ago. Yep. So I hope I could probably have to go in by choosing a different route approach. That would be much easier if I could probably have to do this like the last time. Now I'm at the same spot and putting up with some exchange parts over to my Corvette Stingray Drag Race Edition is equipped with a Nitro Chemist is at the go. So let's do this and giving a good exact straightaway by having a quarter mile with no traffic. Just gonna have to be ready to have that burn position. Okay, there you go. Wait until it's green and rolling out. Gonna hit the nitro and put it up for the perfect speed trap. Perfect. 352.4 miles per hour. Excellent and well achieved by skill number 3. Awesome. Quick and simple as awesome. Alright, looks like it's time to get ready to take on 6 Italian events. After doing 3 skills, it's going to be quite going simple and easy. First up, Harlem East for the Lamborghini Gallardo LP574 Superleggera is now ready to take on for having a good run out there to be in the East region of the United States. Located to be part of New York City, the Big Apple. So I hope I could probably have to take the first event. It's going to be quite good to have a nice Lamborghini, to have a good Superleggera like the Gallardo LP574 is putting up with a different front bumper kit is definitely look like the 2008 model. But however, the Superleggera is definitely might be quite giving a good title to be on the side. So let's choose your Lamborghini as your favorite ride and head on over to be in the starting grid. It's going to get a lot of awesome out there to see some good Italian vehicles will be on the way. So here we go. 3 seconds until we're about to hit the green.
Come on, you can do it.
Okay, maybe some usual opponents. I can take that. So heads up, gonna have to go in and master the turns. Do a lot of good power slide drift if you can. Okay, coming in and take that left turn. Gonna have to be ready for the jump. And goes in onto the left side. Yeah. Pretty fast and extreme. Gonna have to ace that course and moving on to take lap number 2. how beauty is that to see how the Gallardo can actually take on for the street race that can take on for having a good, excited, extreme jump. So I hope I could probably have to take a lot of good speed-paced strategy when you're on the streets. But the objects might become around when smashing in towards the end of the single lap. Lap that sound engine coming in and moving on to lap number 2. Boost them up, pass on to the checkpoints. So I'm really glad that I'm just choosing this yellow color for the Lamborghini Gallardo Super Leggera. It's going to be quite giving a good signature icon, just like the original Gallardo back then since 2004. Well, maybe it was definitely might be quite giving a good supercar as a street race vehicle. Just gonna have to take a lot of good speed after doing the jump at the left side. Coming in by having a lot of excellent quarter-mile run to be on the hill surface, to be on the road. Left turn. Putting up with a boost. A little bit amount. Come on. Just gonna have to keep that all-wheel drive puppy and reaches up onto the podium. Nearly there. Take that left turn, goes on for the right. And for the final stretch after passing the checkpoint. Alright. Lamborghini-tastic takes the podium win. Gallardo is now having a good effort Italian pride. Yeah, 144,000 points is going to be racking up by having a new record set. Legendary bundle to be well earned for only a single street race discipline to have a nice Italian street racing vehicle for a supercar ride. Next up, taking on the big land for the Ferrari 812 Superfast will be on the way by having another bundle to be on a different discipline. 7 parts in different categories, and that should be quite giving a good spot to be on the good road to be ready to roll. The number 812 was actually quite giving a good Superfast, was also to be made by Ferrari. But it was pretty cool and fancy to have a nice looking hypercar to have luxury performance. Just gonna have to rack up with some good exchange parts to be on over to be having a good maximum performance level at 320. 1029 horsepower and a top speed of 278 miles per hour. So let's see how the 812 Superfast can actually go in by having a lot of good speed to be in the big land. So let's go in there and let's see some good progress. If I could probably have a lot of good speed to have a nice Ferrari will be well featured to be on the starting grid.
3, 2.
Okay, let's go fast to take the highway. Let's do this.
You're so gonna win this one.
Hell yeah. The 812 Superfast takes the head start to be in first place and giving a good simple advantage to be on the highway. Gonna have to go in by having a good clear run without any contact by hitting the street lights is gonna be quite giving a good 812 Superfast to be on the main routes. Going over onto the right side while changing up onto the interior view, and here it is. Looks very modern style to have a 2017 model for Ferrari is going to be quite giving a good brilliant performance taste. So I hope I could probably have to stay on over to have a nice good clear distance to be in this course onto the highway. So it gets a little bit first part onto the sector, only reaching up onto sector number 2 in about 50% by the remaining to be stopped at sector number 3. Nitro is all set and well used. And here is the T intersection. Gonna have to pass through and continue on to the blue line. How wonderful is it to see how fast can the 812 Superfast for Ferrari can also just gonna have to reach up onto the top speed like any other kinds of hypercars to be labeled exclusive to have a nice Italian hypercar discipline to be in the crew too. Well, I'm always gonna have to choose any kinds of favorite Italian manufacturer car brands like Ferrari, because it was very good and popular to have a nice red color to be as a signature brand. Halfway there to have that nice course to be at the finish. Gonna have to slow down and regain control of the mobility. Gonna have to check the kilometer top speed. Almost to be at 400 kilometer. Slow it down and take that nitro boost. There you go. Looks like 430 kilometers is definitely might be giving a good analysis checked. 272 miles per hour in general in the US version. Keep it up. Now just gonna have to take a lot of good turns. Only 90% to be on the progression. Almost there. The final stretch is on the way. Not that far, but we still got this. And the checker flag towards the finish line. Yeah, first place and 7 legendary bundle to be well earned. Well, it was doing alright, but giving a lot of fast moment out there for having an 812 Ferrari is going to be giving a good number to have a good highway to be on the streets. Italian event number 2 is complete. Now it's time to go on to take on event number 3. Alright, so I hope there will be some good no restriction for the hypercar discipline. There's going to be a mixed event at Jersey Chainbug Cup is now on the way. Alright, now it's time to go on to take the south trip for the Pagani Huayra. We'll be going over on to Italian event number 3. Velocità is definitely might be giving a good title in speed because it was labeled to have a different language in Italy. But it was also to be having a good Italian racing pride to have different vehicles like street race and hypercar disciplines to be labeled for the Italian racing flag is definitely now featured as a label. So I'm putting up with some exchange parts on the Pagani Huayra at 320 in a horsepower of 879 that is going to be nearly towards 880 horsepower to be at the top speed of 278 miles per hour. So let's choose a Huayra. Whenever we're going to have to go with a standard or a BC edition is definitely might be giving the right call. So I have to go with the standard then and take on for having a good place to be on the starting grid to have some nice hypercars, especially for the Italian vehicles would be well featured to be participate.
Faster, faster! Seriously, go faster!
Yep, looks like nighttime gives the perfect place to be on the highway. Just like Big Land for the Ferrari 812 Superfast, and the Pagani Huayra is now going to be quite giving a good 6-speed transmission to be climbing up onto the 7th gear. Checkpoint clear. Keep going forward. Very good for the nighttime. So, maybe let's just gonna have to give the fact about the Pagani Huayra. We also use this car in Gran Turismo Sport, but it was labeled to be as an N700 category to be fitted as a hypercar class. Just like the Lamborghini Aventador or any other vehicles like the Chevy Camaro CL1 LE Performance and the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. But it looks very good to have 2 muscle cars to be joining in onto the N700 category according to the performance spec was actually quite turns out to become a big, better performance to be taking on with some hypercars. But most fitted to be on the highway in the Crew 2 for hypercars disciplines, especially for the Huayra, was actually to be fitted with some custom parts exterior, just like the first installment back then, because it was actually to be fitted as the Perspex. But the active wing parts was actually to be well used to be taking some tight turns. But still gets a lot of good main focus to be continue on to be on the highway. 45% in the progression, Just gonna have to keep going in onto the left corner turn to be in the highway and glide around onto the right. Boost them up. Now gonna have to take that next checkpoint and keep going straight by having a good clean run. Gonna have to switch up onto the interior view. We'll have to take action. Okay, looks like getting a little bit halfway there. Continue on and stay on the right side until going over onto the different lane. So to be fitted to have a carbon fiber onto the interior in the Hyperion was actually quite giving a good official by default. But it might be quite possible to be well customized to be used onto some exterior to be needed onto some different set of colors to be onto the seat leather. But it looks pretty cool, but the carbon fiber makes the best pick for Pagani Hyperion was actually giving the right call to have a nice performance to be going in for having a good hypercar race. 18% to go by the remaining. Gonna have to try to keep it up and take on that right turn whenever there's some objects coming in to be on the placement. But take a good sound of a nice engine in his Pagani Hyperion. Also to be quite giving a good exact fitting performance to be labeled as an AMG engine. But it might be quite giving a good exact spec performance to be giving a well analysis. Almost there. 10% to go remaining in the progression. 90% is going up. Take that full straightaway. Gonna have to keep going forward, and we're about to be moving on to be in the finish line. One more remaining, and we're about to be arriving in onto the south coast to be at the finish line. Yeah. Too soon, and first place to be at the podium. 150,000 followers to be well earned. Not bad. And same thing as the Ferrari 812 Superfast to be in the same function to have a different capability. So I hope if I could probably have to do some more hypercar events to be needed with some gold legendary parts to be installed to have a nice nitro chemist to be needed by the chance. 3 more to go, and we're about to be taking on with 3 hypercar events to be in a no restriction. So let's see, the next event is going to be on Velocità number 4. Bronix. That's the best place to be giving a good recommendation pick. So according to the article on the wiki fandom in the Crew 2 was actually to be well featured in Latrell's car in the second part. But I didn't do the full walkthrough yet because I've been spending a lot of hard time to do some video editing by the development. So let's choose the hypercar discipline to be labeled to have an Italian car brand to be labeled. So I have to make sure if I could probably have to choose the right vehicle, and that means the TDF is now going to be quite giving a good selection by the pick. So let's use the Ferrari F12 TDF to be labeled as Tour de France 2016 will be ready to go. But I'm so glad to be ready to try this out after the chosen is going to be well chosen to have this nice vehicle to be well selected. Here I go, and let's get ready to take on with a single opponent in the Pagani Sana F and Bronix.
You've got this. You're a rock star.
Okay, there it is right now. Right behind the McLaren P1. Gonna have to keep going forward and taking on for the next checkpoint. Giving a good, excellent boost. There you go.
First place. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The F12 TDF takes the lead. Now, I hope I could probably have to take that sharp turn going in onto the right. Gives a good, clear, steep. Going in onto the avenue. But we've been done this many times whenever you participate on a standard event and a live summon to be featured for having a different theme events is going to be quite good out there to have a different conditions by the night time with a full rain. Here comes the jump and putting up the nitro and goes over for having a good clear street. Taking on for the jump. Give a good solid touchdown. Still in one piece. And the F12 TDF is still got a lot of good speed of handling grip. Feels good out there to have a nice good car to be chosen. But luckily, the first time ever to this edition is going to be quite brilliant to have a nice good run to be in the sprint race. Everything goes on to take a lot of practice by using this car. Color in yellow is actually quite giving a good taste to have a single part to be manufactured by Ferrari. Okay, now going in onto the town. Gonna have to slow down and take that left turn by the next street. Going in. Checkpoint clear. Halfway there on the progression by almost 60%. Come on, just gonna have to keep up the pace. Much best capability for this Ferrari, folks. Giving a lot of good speed and well-controlled handling for having a stable balance. Okay, stay on the road. Still got a lot of good top speed to get closer. 245 miles per hour. Okay, we're going in on to Cape Cod. Gonna have to keep a good potential by doing the balance for this vehicle. Pulling up the brake. Putting up with some good different affixes to have some good extra bonus. Nice clear turn. Nearly there towards the finish line, and there it is. Putting up one last nitro and entered on to Providencetown. Sweet and victory for 3 minutes and 23.116 seconds to have 150,000 followers to be well earned. It's doing good, and some 3 rare parts to be received to have some good extra. 4 Italian events cleared, 3 skills cleared, and 2 more to go by the remaining. Alright, next up for the Hypercar event, Latrell's Car Part 2 is now on the way. So I really hope if I could probably have to do a canon part to be featured for this live summit event. But I could probably might need to have the 2-part conclusion for this event to be needed as from the full walkthrough, but I haven't done this for a very long time to have some more busy development to have my own work for my YouTube channel. Alright, so the Ferrari F12 TDF is finished, so next up, trying out the LaFerrari will be ready to go to have a nice maximum performance. We'll be going in to have a nice nitro chemist to be putting up with some good extended boost. So let's choose the LaFerrari and let's take on Latrell in the Koenigsegg Regera. I hope I could probably have to do my best out there, folks.
3,
Luckily, for this part of the
2,
segment, it's going to be quite giving a
1.
different part of a mechanical will be on the run. Let's do this. Alright, first place in the head start. Gonna have to ride around onto the streets and goes over for having a new record set to have that good progression. Gonna have to jump down and take on for the next street. Goes over onto the highway by doing the ramp. Okay, looks like this is gonna be having a ramp U-turn. Going over onto the detour. And look at this LaFerrari, can it fly? Oh yes, yes, yes. Looks like this is gonna be quite good to see it, but almost really had the chance like a very different Superman. Okay, still got this in one piece. Thank you, live platform is staying on over to have a nice good ground. Alright. How's it going? Almost to be at 29%. Getting closer onto dirty. Alright, now I hope I could probably have to try out the LaFerrari in the Crew 2. Just like Gran Turismo Sport and the first installment in the Crew. Luckily, this is going to be quite giving a good best hypercar performance in the game. Going through onto the tunnels of Los Angeles and goes over onto the Avenue. Checkpoint clear and goes on for the left turn. Come on. Still got a lot of good motives. Lap number 1 is going well clear and heading on to lap number 2. Okay. Looks like this course is going to be quite giving a good difference, just like I'm playing Asphalt 8. Keep going in and take a lot of good second chances. We'll have to go over by having a lot of good extreme jump. I can't believe that LaFerrari can fly. Wow. That part of this course looks very extreme. Literally, I could probably have to bring my GT5 Citroen, could probably have to take on Latrell in the full walkthrough later on. Okay, keep going in. Better have that LaFerrari, could probably take home the podium. Okay, getting closer on to 85%. There you go. Staying on the streets. Going right back in onto the tunnel and unleash a quarter-mile run to be on the nitro. Short amount of time and keep a lot of good handling for having a respawn. Final stretch. Take that LaFerrari to be in the finish line. 45,000 bucks. First place. 3 minutes and 52.288 seconds is doing a job well done. Well, mostly, almost to be at least. But that was a very good, excellent race for having a good Italian hypercar to be quite giving a good start. And also to be one of the best recommended vehicles to be taking part in Latrell's car at the second part. So this is it, folks. One more event to go, and we are going in to be at the Jersey Chain Bug Cup for the mixed events. So I have to make sure if I could probably have to choose the best Italian hypercar, we'll be going over to be on the track. Because this could be my part of a style theme to be in the Crew 2, Pro Racing versus one hypercar will be ready to take action. So I really hope if I could probably have to take on with some touring cars or some other vehicles to be labeled in Italian for the hypercar discipline. So I hope I could probably have to go over onto the filters to be in the country. Italy is now listed in. Okay, let's see. So many Italian vehicles, but only 7 cars will be available to choose. Alright. Now it's time to get ready to choose the Lamborghini Aventador LP704 to take on the track, and we're going in to be in the speedway for only 7 touring cars as a Group 3 category. 1 N700 category is going to be the perfect place, like having a different mixture of a custom race from Gran Turismo Sport. Here I go, and let's do this from 0 to 60 miles per hour.
You've got this. You're a rock star.
First place to be on the high roller. Awesome. Now, I hope I can probably have to go in by taking the inside cornering by 2 turns. 2 full straightaways, we'll be doing the best run out there to be climbing up by having 100,000 points to be in the chance. Just gonna have to keep a good, well, stable handling. Fifth gear is going well. Now climbing up onto the sixth gear. Going down. Take the inside to be switched down onto the fifth gear. Punch it up with a nitro. 8 seconds behind the length of the gap. I still got this, folks. Any kinds of hypercars to be used with Italian vehicles, we'll be doing the best recommendation to be well featured for the event on the live summit. Gonna have to keep counting. Just gonna have to keep a good eye check on the progression. 30%, 70% to go on the remaining. So proud to see how hypercars can actually take on this track. It's going to be quite good out there to have a trailblazer, to have a good overtake on some touring cars. There's the BMW M4 going on the inside, and here comes the rest from the second straightaway. Alright, just gonna have to pass on to the next sector. Goes in for the overtake. And goes first on to the Ford GT by having a 1 lap plus. Halfway there, folks. 50% on the progression is going to get a little bit closer by the halfway mark. The active wing spoiler for the Aventador is keep coming up by having a good speed. Okay, next lap. 62%. Wow, I cannot believe I could probably have to take a lot of good speed out there for only 1 lap plus for having a trailblazer. But it comes in for having a little bit much differences for any kinds of different hypercars will be actually for having a good battle between touring cars for only this event onto the track. 75% to go, folks. Looks like it's going to be currently to be on the progression. And here comes the 7 touring car drivers will be added on to lap number 2 to be plus. Okay, putting up with the nitro. This is it. This will be the final lap. So I really hope I could probably have to take lap number 10. Okay, keep a good steady control. Pass through with the rest of the drivers. Alright, final stretch. Take the Lamborghini into the finish line. Yeah, 3 minutes and 35.527 seconds is going to be well checked to be complete. So let's see the outcome summary performance. Oh yeah, 100,000 points to be well earned. 6 parts by different categories is going to be received to be spare parts to be collected, and Velocità is going to be a proud Italian event complete. Well, folks, it was a very good, proud Italian theme summon for Velocità. Turns out to become very great for only 6 events we'll be using with Italian hypercars and a single street race discipline to be on the restriction. 3 skills is going to be quite good to have disciplines to be well featured. So for the final event in Season 8, it comes to an end before we look forward in Season 9. So right now, if I need to have 4 events, we'll be do a follow-up catch-up to be climbing up onto the 100,000 points until moving forward to be in the next update to take on the Contractor by taking 3 types of business services. We'll be going in to have a different route from point A to B in free mode. I really hope I could probably have to take part in the taxi company run by Marco's Cab, so that should be quite giving a first day on the job. We'll be going in by having a service vehicle will be eligible to be participate to have passengers. We'll be going over to have some different locations on destinations. The Diamond Limousine may be quite good to have premium and unique transportation to have a lot of good experience. Will get you there in style. The Chrysler 300 SRT8 limousine version looks very good to have a premium exclusive content on MotorPass, so I hope I could probably have to get the limousine version of the Ford Crown Victoria until the update comes out, and especially for the Rocket Company, specialized in hauling services is going to be quite good to be qualified to have some pickup trucks will be well eligible for doing a job because the model like a bowl in a china shop. But there is also a fourth job that you can be as a private courier to be using with your own personal vehicle, depends on the street racing or hypercar discipline when you're using. The longer its job, the more money you can earn. Thank you for tuning in to my video folks, I hope you really enjoy, so make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, don't forget to leave a like, comment, bell for notification uploads to be turned on, and the links on the description down below if you really want to see more. You can check it out on Instagram, DeviantArt, GTPlanet, and other social media platforms if you really want to follow me. And don't forget to support my main project, Vision Total Drama, the next chapter of the Total Drama fan art to support the community. I'll be see you guys next time for continue on in the live summit event in the Crew 2, and I will see you later in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.